Hello everybody, it's Pineapple here, back with another video, and it is Banlist season, and you know what that means, easy content for me. So today I thought we would go through just Banlist, my predictions, thoughts, etc. You know how this goes. And so I thought I'd talk about what I think is going to just straight up, bite the dust, get out of here. Um, and we're going to start off with the interesting discussion that is Soul Piercer, because as everyone should know, the brand new Super Heavy Samurai cards are coming. They're coming in about a week, and unfortunately for us, that means FTKs. This engine is super splashable with Wakashi. It is just a nightmare to deal with, to play against. It puts up so many interruptions. Just an unbelievable engine, and it's all enabled by Soul Piercer's non-once per turn search effect. And I can't stress enough just how dangerous it is to just to let this engine run loose. I do think it's a little overhyped in some regards, and in other regards I think it's completely broken. But that said, like Soul Piercer enables it all. The reason I think it's might be a little overhyped is it can't go second. You can't play going second board breakers in it. It's cards that you want to side out going second, etc. And then you're playing a bunch of dead spots for your engine, unless you're playing pure super heavies, but you're, I guess, then good for you. But again, I do have some nervousness about this. I think it's going to be more prevalent than the adventure engine, just because one, it's cheap. All the cards for this engine are extremely low rarity, topping out at super with Wakashi. And two, it's just extremely splashable. It gives you scales in any deck. It has a one-card Baron. It's just a crazy engine. And I think you have to preemptively hit it. That's my 2 cents. Next up, Cyberstein. It's time for this card to go. It's never doing anything healthy. It's summoning Nat Beast or Last Warrior, or some other stupid fucking card. I've never had a good game where I resolved Cyberstein. It's just very unfair card. It's an FTK machine. Just dumb card. Not even about the meta state. I know that Super Heavy can search it, but again, just don't let Stein continue to exist. That's my 2 thoughts. We have Expulsion here. Branded is about to get better again. Expulsion just says, give your opponent a floodgate. And I know Iridescent is coming. The difference is with Iridescent is that there's not a real consistent way to send something. You can't just send a gimmick puppet and Iridescent for it. You have to be fusing for Iridescent. It's a lot harder to pull off. And basically when you do the Iridescent combo, then that's all you've got. And if they have an out, well, you're kind of screwed. That said, Expulsion you can't ban the targets for Expulsion because they'll just pick a different target. If you ban the gimmick puppet, they'll play Ra or Ido, etc. So you have to ban Expulsion. It's clearly a problem card. When they can summon back Aluber as well, it just pluses them as well. Just such a stupid card. It's obviously getting axed. It's obviously the hit to Branded. I don't think Konami makes consistency hits, which I agree with. I think consistency hits are dumb. It just makes every other deck feel, twice as sacky when they hard open Branded Fusion when they have one copy. This is obviously the correct hit. I would say touch the ceiling, not, hit the consistency. That's my 2 cents. For Cash Tier Up, Unicorn and Birth, I think they're probably both going to go to 1. I don't know if they outright ban anything, but they do have one ban that I'm 100% certain they're going to make. But Unicorn, again, is the starter. It's everything. Just reducing the amount of unicorns that they can hard open and with extenders makes it much nicer, despite the fact that it is a one-card starter. It means that the odds that they open it along with an extender are just, much lower. It means that they pretty much always have to plan it for it. It just makes their life harder. One unicorn is much better. So a lot of people want Fenrir to 1. Fenrir doesn't fix the problem. Fenrir isn't their starter. He's an extender, and he's actually an interesting splashable card. So I'd say Unicorn to 1 is probably a lot healthier. Birth is an insane card. It just says, normal summon a level 7 for free. Really funny card. I think it does a lot of funny things in some bad decks, but its Reborn effect is so dumb. The fact that it also banishes things face down, just it is the grind game of this deck. So if you out their board and they don't have Birth, they're in hot trouble. But if they have Birth, you're kind of screwed. it just does everything for the deck. Either limit it, ban it. I can't justify this card staying at 3. I can't envision it in my mind. Some Labyrinth hits. Lab has not been doing well at like big events, but people still hate this deck, and that's mostly the furniture builds that are topping as well. And a lot of people want EEV and D-Barrier banned. I think D-Barrier's time has come. As much as I enjoy resolving this card in Labyrinth specifically, it should go. It's not a fun card. And, that's what you should be balancing your game around. Just, is it enjoyable to play with? And the answer is no, so please get rid of it. That said, Drain. If you're gonna hit Lab, the topping lists right now are all playing Drain. Like, hit Drain. It's not a fun card. No one enjoys this. I see a lot of people clamoring for EEV, and I don't think EEV is like good enough to do it. It's EEV. It's a great card, but it's not what I think is going to get banned. That's all I have to say. So moving towards the extra deck, we have of course Diabolus the Mind Hacker. It's just such a toxic, dumb card in Kashtira. I really can't see this card, surviving the ban list. Just it's not only is it just a toxic card that like makes deck building very frustrating for your extra. Now I gotta buy a second copy of Zeus, etc., etc. Just a super toxic, unfun card. And additionally, it's an extender in that it enables the lock 5 play. Just it makes Kashtira so much more degenerate. It makes them capable of doing like dumb deck out things. There's nothing enjoyable about this card. Please, Konami, just get rid of it. I don't think anything of value will be lost. And that's all I gotta say. Just get rid of Diabolus. It's a toxic card. No one wants it. Now, moving on to cards that we're gonna move to more, or at least my prediction and hopes are. First up, we have the legend himself, Harp Horror. This card could have come off the ban list a year ago. Master Duel proves this. Orcust is too bricky of a strategy, I think, to exist in the modern metagame. I get why Konami is fearful. Orcust was a very, very powerful strategy for a very long period of time. And obviously I don't think they fully trust Orcust. But that said, I think you can bring it back to 1. I think it's time. Free Harp, I don't think it's a problem card at all. I think a lot of people would like to see Orcust come back. It's a fan favorite. But moving forward, we have the Dragon Rulers. I think Blaster's a definite. He's been released in the OCG. He's been released in Master Duel. I don't really see any issue with Blaster specifically. They're a neat series of monsters. I like the Dragon Rulers. I think they'd be interesting to see in, specifically Dragon Link. I like the Dragon Rulers. They're cool cards. I think you could put them all to 1 right now and it wouldn't change anything. But I definitely think Blaster's a definite one since he's, the weakest after Title. But Title being a foolish and Redox being, of course, a Reborn. You played in like Earth Pile decks. I get that. But that said, I think all of them could come back. But 100% I think Blaster's coming back. I hope these two come back. Again, I really like the Dragon Rulers. They're just cool cards from, when I was a kid. I had all the tins with the Dragon Rulers. They're still in my binder. The secret rare copies. They're just cool cards. They take me back that time. So I do hope they come back. Gazelle, Salad is, I get that Salad is getting support soon. I think in July, I want to say. If Gazelle doesn't come back to 3, now, it will come back in like August or something. This card I think is going to come back. They want to promote the fire pack or whatever it is. Gazelle can definitely come back as well. Salad is not a big issue. Big Cyverse piles. I'm not concerned about them. Gazelle can come back. There's no question in my eyes. Archfiend. Infernity Archfiend. I think they've put Launcher to 2 in the OCG as well as Master Duel. Again, you can start to unlimit things for Infernity. The deck is an inconsistent, bricky piece of crap that, struggles to play under all kinds of floodgates. Can't play hand traps. I think Infernity is completely fine. It's an interesting style of deck. It's all gas, no breaks. And subsequently, I'm kind of okay with it. I think you could put Archfiend to 3, and it doesn't change anything. I think you could put Launcher to 3, although I think they want to limit cheating and subsequently won't do that because, setting a Summoner Monk or whatever in the Spell Trap Zone is something that will happen. Spellbook of Judgment. They recently unbanned this card, and it can 100% go to 3. It's too slow, I think, in the modern era, and I just don't think it's a good enough card, frankly. Judgment is fine. I hate to say it, but you can put this card to 3. Nothing is going to change. In the extra deck, Electromite, you can probably free Electromite. What is Pendulum doing in Master Duel? Nothing. Um, you can put Electromite to 1. I don't think anyone's losing sleep over giving Pendulum another tool. You could probably unlimit pretty much everything on the list. Pendulum is just an inherently minus mechanic. Just not good enough. I get why it's frustrating and why people sometimes don't want to play against it. It's just a weird style of deck, but you can definitely, put him to 1. Danglong and Ib, these are basically the same card, except Danglong modifies levels and Ib doesn't. Also, Ib, grabs the Reborn card. But that said, both these cards I think, are fine. They're level 5 tuner synchros that, do, grab plus you a lot, but at the same time, I'm kind of okay with that. They're fun, interesting combo pieces that do cool things. I like Ib, I like Denglong. I don't think that there's enough decks that, are able to, consistently do things with them and, completely take advantage of them to the extent that, they're busted out the ass. They're really powerful cards, don't get me wrong, but I do think you can see Denglong come back after all this time. Moving on to some Xyz monsters. Dryden can 100% come back. If you're concerned that the 6th Zeus material, just ban Borbo instead, because Borbo is clearly the problem card there, and that it allows you to turbo out Zeus. Or just ban Hammer Kong, ban one of the terrible Zoo cards if you're so overtly concerned with the 6th Zeus material. But we currently have Rise Heart, which is literally just Dryden plus macro in a more permanent removal variation. You can 100% put Dryden to 1. I don't think it's changing anything with Zoo. I think Dryden should come to 1. I think Zoo's a neat deck. I think it's a cool deck. You can 100% put Dryden to 1, and I think you should. I think it's very hard to justify keeping this card on the list while Arise Heart is a legal card. Zenmaity, it's at 3 in Master Duel. I think it's at, 2 in the OCG? Can't remember. It's you can bring this card back. I'm not concerned about Zenmaity whatsoever. Windup is not doing anything. Maybe it could be splashed, but I'm not losing any sleep over Windup Carrier Zenmaity. This card is completely fine to come back. Probably a 3. There's no reason to keep holding this card on the list. And last but not least, Recital Starling. I don't think Bird Up players deserve, good things, but you can put this card to 3. I mean, I was happy when it was at 2 because, whenever they would get ripped out of their extra with Diablosis and bye-bye 1 Recital, and now you can't make UDF. It was very funny. But this card can 100% and probably should come to 3. But yeah, guys, those are my initial thoughts on what's going to happen, what could happen, what should happen with the ban list for the upcoming format. I hope you guys enjoyed. Give me your thoughts on what you'd like to see changed in the ban list down below, and I'll see you guys in the next one.